Leo, embarrassed, nodded. I, I just don't like thunder. It's so loud and scary, he admitted, his voice trembling. Mia tilted her head and smiled. Thunder is just noise, Leo. It can't hurt you. It's like a big cat's purr, only louder. Leo looked at Mia, surprised. A purr? He asked, his fear slightly lessening. Mia nodded. Come, let's go outside. I'll show you. Hesitantly, Leo followed Mia out of the cave. The storm was raging, and the thunder was still booming. But Mia stood calmly, looking up at the sky with curiosity rather than fear. Leo watched her, and slowly, his fear began to fade. He focused on Mia's calm demeanor and tried to mimic it. Mia pointed out how the rain made the leaves sparkle and how the wind made the trees dance. Leo had never seen the storm this way before. He had always run from it, never stopping to observe its beauty. The storm continued, but Leo no longer felt the same fear. He still didn't like the thunder, but he was no longer terrified by it. Mia stayed by his side, purring softly until the storm had passed. When the sun finally peeked through the clouds, Leo felt a great sense of relief and gratitude. He had faced his fear, and it wasn't as scary as he thought. From that day on, Leo was still known as the king of the jungle, but he was also known as the lion who learned to be brave from a small cat. He still didn't like the thunder, but he no longer hid from it, thanks to Mia's courage and friendship. The animals of the forest no longer whispered about his fear, but admired his bravery, which he had learned from a cat. Leo hesitated, but eventually agreed. He didn't want the other animals to think less of him, and deep down he was tired of living in fear. Mia led him out of the cave and into the forest. The wind howled, and the trees swayed violently, but Mia walked calmly, her tail flicking confidently behind her. Close your eyes, Leo, Mia said. Listen to the storm. Don't run from it. Hear its rhythm, it's like music, isn't it? Leo closed his eyes and listened. For the first time he noticed the storm wasn't just noise. The rain tapped against the leaves like a drum beat, and the thunder rumbled like the deep notes of a giant orchestra. As they walked deeper into the forest, they reached a clearing. Lightning lit up the sky, followed by a deafening crack of thunder. Leo flinched, but Mia stood firm. Why aren't you scared? Leo asked, his voice shaking. Mia chuckled. Because I know the storm can't hurt me if I stay safe. It's just nature showing its power. And you, Leo, are nature's king. Shouldn't you stand tall and proud, even in the face of its fury? Leo thought about this. He was the king of the jungle, yet he had been acting like a frightened cub. Gathering his courage, he stood tall beside Mia. Suddenly, a loud cracking sound echoed through the clearing. A massive branch had fallen, and it was heading straight for a nest of baby birds. Without thinking, Leo roared and dashed forward. He used his strength to push the branch away from the nest. The baby birds chirped in relief, and their mother flew down, nuzzling Leo gratefully. For the first time, Leo felt a surge of bravery, not fear. He had faced the storm and protected the innocent. Mia smiled at him, her eyes filled with admiration. You see, Leo, you were always brave. You just had to believe it. Leo stood tall, his fear replaced by a newfound confidence. He realized that courage wasn't about not being afraid, it was about acting despite the fear. He was no longer the frightened lion. He was Leo, the brave king of the jungle.